Hi, my name is Erica Shusas, and on behalf of my co-authors, Patrick Skeba, Eric P.S. Baumer, and Andrea Forte, I'm here to present our paper, Accounting for Privacy Pluralism, Lessons and Strategies from Community-Based Privacy Groups. So I'd like to begin by introducing you to some hypothetical people and their privacy concerns. First, we have Anna, and Anna has been hearing her friends talk about their personal concerns, privacy concerns about having their email hosted on some big tech companies' platforms. And she has recently been hired by a company that has told her that her work email will be hosted on one of these big tech company platforms. And she has a couple of worries. Will my personal privacy be at risk? And if so, is there anything I can do while I'm at work to help mitigate some of my privacy vulnerabilities? Next, we have Bruno, and Bruno currently lives with a couple of roommates, and Bruno doesn't have his own laptop right now, so sometimes he borrows his roommate's laptop. And the other day, he went to go ask his roommate for his laptop and found his roommate's girlfriend, who was on the laptop and in Bruno's email inbox. So thankfully, Bruno didn't think that his girlfriend saw anything too embarrassing that time, but he would like some advice about how to prevent situations like that occurring in the future. Especially when sharing devices. And finally, we have Charlie. And Charlie is an investigative journalist and really believes passionately about going the extra mile to protect Charlie's privacy and also the privacy of Charlie's sources. So they use two-factor authentication, secure messaging apps, VPN. But recently, when Charlie was overseas on assignment, their cell phone was confiscated by airport security. So Charlie was not able to perform two-factor authentication and access Charlie's secure messaging apps. So Charlie was in a real bind. So they would like to know, moving forward, how can they still really protect their privacy when they don't have their usual tools that they would have at home when they're working overseas? So as we've seen from these individual people and also throughout HCI literature, that people's privacy concerns can vary based on individual factors. Individual factors like gender, age, socioeconomic status, or cultural background, and even people's conceptions about what privacy even is can vary quite widely, from individual to individual, which can create a problem for HCI researchers in the field of privacy. We were inspired by Daniel Solovey's work, who said that privacy is not one thing, but many distinct but related things, and that understanding privacy in a more pluralistic manner will hopefully improve the way that privacy problems are recognized and addressed. Thinking about what does this look like in practice when we are embracing people's different privacy concerns and conceptualizations of privacy. In practice, how can we think more pluralistically about privacy? So as we know, people look to different sources for privacy advice, like online platforms or friends and family. Some people consult community-based privacy groups, and these are usually self-organized groups that are open to the public, and people can come with their privacy concerns and hopefully get some kind of advice or guidance on how to resolve them. We're thinking that privacy group organizers, in some ways, are tasked with the same kind of activities that privacy group organizers are, and that they are contending with people with many different and varied privacy concerns. The privacy groups that we looked at were in urban areas of the Northeast United States, and they aim to serve diverse constituencies. And so we wondered, what might we learn from some privacy group organizers in these areas? Which brings us to our research question. How are privacy groups organized that enable them to serve diverse populations and their privacy concerns more pluralistically? So we used ethnographic methods, including participant observation of 13 privacy group meetings, and performed semi-structured interview with 6 privacy group organizers. And we analyzed the data using iterative methods and present and discuss findings with the goal of transferability. So our findings, we identified three main features of how privacy groups are organized to serve these diverse constituencies. One first was situating, so finding the right venue or environment for these meetings. Second was structuring, so finding the right format or content for these meetings. And third is support. So what types of dimensions of assistance did privacy groups prioritize offering at their meetings? So some highlights from our findings were first in situating, privacy group organizers talked about the importance of hosting their privacy group meetings in public, which might seem odd considering the topic of privacy group meetings. But privacy group organizers listed several ways of why they felt that this was important. One was trust and safety. So they said that some people that are coming to their meetings have either experienced harassment or stalking, or for one reason or another required an elevated level of preserving their anonymity. And so if they were approaching groups that were in the open, privacy group organizers reported that attendees had told them that they felt safer in order to do so. Secondly, there's visibility and accessibility. So some of the organizers said that in their own experiences going to privacy group meetings, that often the same people would be in the room. And they felt that there were people that would benefit maybe from some of their resources that just maybe weren't aware of the group or information about how they could access some of those resources. So participant P4 had said that with a group that's new like us and a topic that's not as readily in the mainstream always, I think that doing the work in public spaces is important for us because it allows us to catch the attention of people who may not be plugged in already. And secondly, structuring. So how the agenda or the content of the meeting was framed by organizers, and they talked a lot about how they wanted to have the content of their meetings really driven by their attendees. So to make sure that the issues that they were addressing were issues that were really of significance to the attendees of their meetings. So P1 had said that they were trying to practice this idea of holistic security. So they originally tried to do like the formal model of a crypto party, which is like a lot of encryption tools, and fairly technically complicated. But the problem is for communication tools like PGP, if you don't really know people who have already used them, they're not very useful. And they also are only useful against very particular adversaries. So PGP is great if you're worried about your internet service provider, or maybe the government snooping on your emails. It's not so great if you're worried about a friend reading emails over your shoulder. And finally, supporting, or the dimensions of support that privacy groups or organizers aim to offer. And we organizers spoke of not only informational, but also emotional and affirmational support. And that sometimes people coming to their meetings, there wouldn't really be a very clear technical solution to their problems, but they were able to provide them with emotional support, or even sometimes affirmational support, or a space where they felt belonging. And they felt that in itself was of a high value. So P2 had said, people who come to our events are the ones interested in grappling with this feeling of living in a world where they feel like there's a constant invasion of privacy in one form or another. And how do I confront those feelings, both technically, but also we offer just a space for people to feel like, it's okay to be surveyed in a world, in this world. It's not like an individual failure. It's one of policy and culture. So we won't have time to go through all of our implications in much detail, but these are elaborated on in the paper for each one of our features, how they might help us think about privacy research in the future. And I'd like to highlight just one here. In support, our findings in support, provisions of support resembled strongly research on support groups, which not only in the different levels of support that they provided, like emotional and affirmational, but they sought to provide their members individual empowerment and to stave off feelings of helplessness. They were organized by the group similarly to support groups that are reported in the literature, and also there was not a pre-subscribed solution. So we suggest in our paper that that perhaps looking at some of these emotional motivations for attending privacy groups might be beneficial for privacy research. But thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to talking about this paper and many other topics, either offline or online in the future.